Learn Talk, what's it all about? It's about the opportunity to learn a bit more about somebody than your usual sort of party or random interaction. So today we have the lovely Míša.
Hello, I'm good, thank you.
Where does that name come from? Like, what's the background of your parents?
So my parents were born in Czechoslovakia, and they were refugees from the communist regime.
Oh wow.
And they fled in 1968 to Austria and then found their way to Canada, where I was born. And hence the name. Míša is a very Czech name, and my last name, my maiden last name, is Wojtek.
Okay.
So I've married, and I'm still Míša,
Yes.
but my last name now is Alexander.
Have you met another Míša?
I've met a dog named Míša.
What type of dog? It's called Míša.
Oh, it was a lovely black lab, so I'm okay with that.
Okay.
It wasn't a mangy mutt, thank goodness.
That's great. And does it mean something? That name?
Yeah, so my parents used to call each other Miškas, which is an endearing term that means little mouse. So they called each other little mice.
Right.
And then, it was the third mouse that came along. And
Yep, that was it.
That's it.
Locked in.
Yeah, and in Russian it's bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Czech it's mouse. Born in Vancouver, average of 65 days of sun a year.
Yep.
My parents and I would go to Hawaii once a year to get a blast of sun and surf, and I fell in love with surf and beach culture. So
you do surf?
Yes, I do.
Are you they call it goofy or a natural?
Yes, I'm goofy.
A goofy?
So that was embedded into my brain, and at 19, that's it, I had enough and I left. I had a plan on traveling around the world, but I got to Australia, found Byron Bay, and never left. Yeah.
There's a few of us that have gotten stuck here.
Yeah. So this has been my base for 22 years, and I'm now married to a local man who was born in Mullumbimby, and we've had a family of 3 boys.
Okay. And how did you meet this local?
Salsa dancing at the Great Northern.
Salsa. What's salsa dancing look like?
You want me to show you?
Can you do?
Oh, no.
Maybe later.
I just was having fun. I was so over meeting dud dudes and just wanted to go and have fun. So there's a class run.
Yeah. Did you go with a friend? Or?
No, just went by myself. Okay. And our eyes locked and we fell in love and started making babies. It was that fast. So 10 years on, we've got 3 boys.
Yep.
And a life.
3 boys.
Yeah.
Wow.
3 boys.
What ages are the boys?
So we've got Quinn, who's 5, Hugo, who is 8, and Noah, who's 9. Okay. And Hugo is on the autism spectrum, and he also has an intellectual disability. I love Bangalow because it seems to me to be a heart of our shire. It's really accessible to most areas, so 15 minutes to the beach, Lismore, Ballina, Mullum, it's just so easy, the highway's just there. But also I think the draw card for me as a parent is the community. It's just an amazing community, really can connect with everybody here, and I think everyone has a similar vision for this place, and it's just a really lovely collective. I love it. So I think that was really important for me, having a family that we wanted to be in that sort of community that was small, friendly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I must say I've heard that from a few diggers in the place.
Yeah.
We've all...
And we have only been here for 5 years. So we were before living in a warehouse down in Byron, and then we moved to Lismore, bought a house there. The GFC happened.
Yep.
We lived next door to some not so great people, so
Yep.
an opportunity came here to buy some land, and we just jumped for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. So 5 years. So it's all been going well then. Because sometimes you can get somewhere
Look, I
and
think
it would.
Yeah, well, we've had challenges in the sense that our middle son has a disability, and that's probably been our biggest challenge. For me, Bangalow is the right place for him because it is a small community and people can get to know Hugo, and therefore his inclusion and access is more attainable.
Yeah.
Whereas if we were to be in a bigger town, it might not be so easy. So things are good.
Yes.
Things have been good, but I have to be honest that, having a child with a disability is very, very challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah. I proclaim myself to be an inclusion advocate.
Yeah.
So that means that I am the voice for those who may not have the voice to fight for their right to be included in our mainstream society.
And is that something that has become you in recent times since having children, or was this something you did as a kid yourself?
No, I think, I've always had a sort of humanitarian thread within me, but I never really actioned it because I didn't know what to action it for. And I think since having kids and a child with a disability, I'm now able to fight for something.
And live it.
Yeah, live it.
Yeah,
I am.
You're not just... You didn't go to school to learn it.
No. So, but it hasn't really turned its positivity.
Yes.
Probably until we created Fergus and Delilah, which is a children's book. I think that has been the real turning point for me to look at disability, inclusion and access, and what does that actually mean? Because before that, I was just really struggling with accepting Hugo for Hugo. It was like a
shock.
A shock, a burden,
Yep.
a disappointment.
Yep.
Yep.
And those feelings come from like a plan in your head of what life should look like, or what a family should operate?
Yeah, I think it comes, yes, it's part of that, but I think it's also to do with growing up in a society where we don't get to experience people with disabilities. And I think that the way we've been treating people with disabilities and segregation, institutionalization doesn't allow your average person to really interact with somebody who has massive differences or diversities from ourselves. And I'm a product of that stigmatization around disabilities. So therefore, I don't know the hidden beauty in it.
Yes.
Because I can see that in Hugo now. He's an amazing person. He is very, very different. So I'll introduce you to Fergus.
Yeah, okay.
Because I've brought him along with me.
Right, let's have a look at Fergus.
And he's now going home with...
Oh, wow.
So the whole thing is about being wired differently.
Yeah.
He's wired differently, and he's got wires for hair. And,
oh, yeah.
So he's got his little Chewy. He's got his little watch to remind him, then when he needs to go to the toilet. Yeah. He's got his little Velcro shoes. And he goes home now with the kids at school, and the kids get to journal with him. So they might have to have a gluten-free dinner. Or they might have to turn the music down. So he's really, he's Australian-made, handmade by myself and my mother-in-law. He's great. So the kid...
And the design? Whereas...
Well, that's me. So that comes from that comes from the book,
Yeah.
which is Fergus and Delilah.
Yeah.
And they go through the park, and Delilah meets new friends, and she's trying to make friends with Fergus, but it's really hard because Fergus is kind of in his own world doing his own thing.
Yeah.
But she meets someone who rolls on by. So we've got the roll on by kid too. So I'll just show you here.
And around
So-
their head is that television or?
I needed a vehicle for the wires. Because the whole thing
Okay.
is a metaphor around being different. So how do you show somebody different when they're not really different? Do you know what I mean? Like it's just a very small thing that his brain's just wired a bit differently. But other than that, he's the same.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyways, Delilah makes 3 new friends, and we've got the kid who rolls on by. So now we've made I think about 30 Ferguses.
How long does a Fergus take?
A really long time.
Okay.
We've got
And what does that look like? Is that an event-based? This Sunday we're gonna
pretty much smash them
out.
out. So now we've got. So the next we've named the kid that rolls on by, Isaac.
Oh wow.
Because Isaac's the one who's got cerebral palsy. And so Isaac gets to sit. The wheelchair is quite difficult to make. We're still kind of
In the
perfect.
R&D.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. This is the one prototype of. But wouldn't it be great if kids could take Isaac home, take the wheelchair home, and work out how unaccessible our current living environment actually is.
Maybe that's all for today.
I think so.
Let's go with that.
Okay.
I have no idea how I'm going to edit that or put it together,
I
but
don't
you know
know.
what? It'll just find its way when I sit down
Wow.
at the computer. So thank you,
Oh,
Míša.
thanks. Thank you so
been
much
lovely.
for taking the time to do that.
Oh, you know, yeah, now we know each other.
Yeah, but you know, I think it's really great to know people in your community.
I keep thinking of the song from Sesame Street.
Say, who are the people in your neighborhood? The people that you meet each day.